Top of the morning. Everybody's here. Getting to work. Like always in my Atlanta traffic, right? Doing my thing, sitting in my car for about 45 minutes. Talking my way to work. Oh, Lord have mercy. My back, my chest, my arms, my stomach, my legs. It's throbbing. But I love it. That feeling when you ain't been hitting it like you're supposed to, and you hit your ass in that weight room in that gym, and it hit you, you know what I'm saying? And you can tell my body's waking up like I can tell. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go through the pain. I'm going tonight, and then after tonight, I'm gonna probably focus on trying to ass up for Monday, so I can get back at it Monday. So I know today after the day, good Lord, man, I'm so tired. Shout out to the trainer, man. If you need a trainer, you in the Atlanta area. What's up, Doug? If you need a trainer, you in the Atlanta area, go holler at my homeboy, um, Mello, over there on Wesley Chapel. Planet Fitness. I know Planet Fitness is the hippie gym, but y'all need to rock with it. Real talk. Anyway, I'm here today to talk about something that I find very, very, very interesting, and it is black redneck culture. Something we really oftentimes don't even equate as the same, but it is. And when you look at, and the reason I'm saying is I've been listening to Thomas Sowell. I'm always listening to Thomas Sowell. That's one of my favorite economists. Really brings a lot of inconvenient data and facts when people start talking about racism, white supremacy. In fact, he's the guy that taught me about the whole. First guy I ever heard mention that black people only spend 30 minutes a night doing homework, and he just talked about our study habits and like that. But there's another book he has, and that book is called Black Rednecks, White and White Liberals, right? And it's real deep, man. I would advise it. It's on YouTube. Just type up Thomas Sowell Black Rednecks, and you'll see it. Go listen to it, and you go listen to this guy go and cite tons of examples. And I know a few secretly Marxist YouTubers really don't like this guy, but hey, I love this guy. Great guy. You know what I'm saying? Great economist. He's one of the guys Killer Mike told you guys to go listen to. We've all heard Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks. Those are the people that listen to him that I wound up making videos where I'm cussing and screaming and getting loud and going off when they believe that the white man is going, those guys. So I really don't believe or advise you go listen to those two people for that. I agree with them on the ADOS thing. Thomas Sowell, Thomas, Thomas, Sowell, Sowell, Thomas Sowell. He's a Harvard trained economist, black guy. You probably seen him before. He used to be on William F. Buckley back in the day. A lot of different stuff, man. Yeah, exactly. He got a book called Black Rednecks. Speaking of, man, I got a subscription. I probably got 4 or 5 audio books I can go get for free. I mean, not for free, that I done paid for. I need to go use my done coupons that I got at audible.com. You need to have an audible.com subscription. If you don't got that, I don't know what you're doing with your life. I really don't. You playing. You're not serious about life, right? Now, I want to talk about, let me see what they talking about on B13. But I want to talk about our culture and how we've adopted it from white people. You see, guys, most of the southern farmers that were slave owners had, you know, they didn't like, hey, Naima. A lot of these guys did not like work. A lot of the slave owners that owned slaves in the South were lazy. They were prone to violence. They had they had an aversion to education. They what else did they do? The fathers would abandon the families. They would sound familiar. Sound familiar, don't it? Um, let's see what else they would do. One of the things they would do, they would put their lives at risk. It would always break the law. And you got to understand, it was pretty much very lawless in certain parts of Europe where this that was pretty much created. And so these people who migrated to the South and started a new life for themselves in the 1800s, some of them prior to that, before, I'm talking about before, in the old centuries when they owned slaves, those guys were pretty much the same people. For example, the Fighting Irish. You guys may not pay attention to this. The Fighting Irish mascot is an Irish guy with his fist up, right? Go look at it. And we don't pay attention to that because that culture has died. We don't even know, or that aspect of their culture has been swept. Nobody knows that. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame is really technically should be offensive to Irish people, but they don't care because they don't look at it like that. Fighting means something else to them. You know what I'm saying? They're proud of the fact that we're fighters, right? But that was really, they were like, Irish were like white niggers, pretty much. That's what they were. And a lot of the people that live in the South are the ancestors of these people. Now, I actually find that encouraging. And the reason I find it encouraging is because if you look at the South right now, the South is, a shining, jewel of the country as far as its economic development, things that are going on in the South, just with the city of Atlanta, Charlotte. A lot of these areas are, shining examples of a metropolis. So I don't think that the blacks in the South that were of the descendants of slaves are locked in permanently in the sense. I think it's an example of what can be done in just maybe 2 or 3 generations. Because we hear these stories that it's over for black people in America. And to a certain extent, the political stupidity is unbridled. I've never seen anything like it in history. Never seen anybody that really, it's like a junkie that's on drugs. And they tell you, hey man, keep taking, you got heart problems. You can stop taking these rocks. And the junkie just keep taking them until they just fall out and die. And that's what happened to KC from Jodeci. Like he would not leave them drugs alone. And thank God he didn't die, but he just had 2 or 3 strokes. Like God got his attention. You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to black people, that's what's going to probably have to happen. I talked about this before, that we're going to experience pain because that's all black people understand is pain, suffering. You know what I'm saying? And that's what needs to happen. I actually can't wait. I know that sounds real messed up. Man, you a coon. No, I'm not a coon. I need black people to wake up from their sleep, from their slumber. When it comes to not very advanced. But anyway, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent. The point I'm trying to make is if you go and look at the book Black Rednecks and White Liberals, what it'll do is it'll talk about it'll cite different instances of the redneck culture of white America in the 17th, 18th, and on back, 16th century, and how they operated, how they acted. You know what I'm saying? And what it'll do, and he even goes back further than that. Because what you got to understand is these guys that populated the South were pretty much savages. I'm just telling it like it is. The people that populated the South, the Southerners, were savages. And so even to this day, the South has a stigma, right? That a lot of it shook the stigma in a sense, but it also still has that stigma where people don't understand why people look, oh, he's from the South. They stupid in the South. They ignorant in the South. They this, they that. You can cite different instances of the average intelligence quotient, i.e. the IQ, right? AKA the IQ, right? The Appalachians, exactly. So what happens is these people, now look at this. Now you can cite Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Texas. These are areas where they were very known for backwards culture, the black belt, certain areas. So there are a lot of things that people don't get exposed to in the South, didn't get exposed to. And a lot of these people, whenever they would move up north, you would hear the term Irish need not apply. Why would they say Irish need not apply? Because they were looked at like niggers. I'm telling you, this is some shit that we really don't hear a lot. And this is some stuff that a lot of people don't really want to talk about because it's kind of been swept under the rug. And so black people, we look at our culture. We look at our culture and we think that, okay, the South, the black people, because black people pretty much have a Southern culture. I don't give a damn where you go, 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Your ass from New York is through the Great Migration. You ain't been up there, but maybe your grandmama probably moved from up there from Alabama, Georgia, damn near everybody. You know what I'm saying? Most black people are from the South, 99% of us. You got that small percentage that lived up north, but 9 times out of 10, your people from the South. This is why I get tired of people from New York and Chicago and LA in these areas that really are very condescending to black Southerners. I think that's the dumbest shit I ever seen in my life. Because really, it ain't like you running New York. It ain't like you up your ass up in New York and you own all the land and shit like that. No, you getting gentrified like a motherfucker. They running your ass up out of Harlem and all that country talk. We getting gentrified everywhere we go. Up north in these major metropolitan areas, black people are at the bottom of the totem pole. So you can't come to the South and shit on the Southerners because those are your cousins. That's your family. We are family. I damn sure don't shit on people from up north. I don't. They've given us a lot. I ain't no way in hell I shit on people from New York. That would be ignorant. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that. I think we have to become more advanced as a people. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If you look at historically when these Southerners started migrating to certain areas, they were met with a lot of hostility. They were. About to be late for work. Not really. Nobody really watches my ass like that. I always submit 8 hours a day. Shit, I'm gonna get my 4th hour. Anyway, that's why y'all see me like, fuck it, I get to work at 10 o'clock. Shit, it is. Don't tell nobody, right? Anyway, but you got to look at it, guys. Like the Southern redneck culture is something that, and see, we as slaves were forced to, because you got to look at our African dialect, right? Just in the way we talk. Look at our dialect, the way we speak. A lot of our languages, the way we talk and stuff, it's completely different. The way we talk, the way you hear me talk a lot of times. I listen to myself, be like, damn, I didn't enunciate my words properly. Like I don't. Like I just talk like I do now. I'm just talking. Like fuck it, I just talk, right? That is a Southern trait. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's Southern, right? And the South, whether we know it or not, we've most of our culture from our former slave masters in the way we operate. Don't start on me about the white man and white Jesus. I really don't feel like going into that, okay? I'm not just talking about that. Although Jesus was in Africa. I don't know. That's another subject. African Origins of Christianity. Go check it out. Good book. Anyway, but the thing is, guys, the culture of the South is something that, like if you look at, there was a guy by the name of Alexis de Tocqueville. I think he's from London, England. He came over in the 1700s and he traveled throughout the South. He traveled throughout the whole of America. He wrote about what he saw. And one of the things he always talked about was how strong the church was, and that actually makes America great. But then he talked about the Southern culture, the Southern redneck culture of the South. He talked about how he would go on their farms and the shit would just be out of order. It wouldn't be the farms. He's like, they would be sleeping till 2 in the afternoon. The shit that you hear from niggas today. A lot of that shit today, if you just get rid of, that's why I want you guys to go read this book. Because it will definitely help you to understand what is feasible with American African Americans in America today, descendants of slaves. Our culture and certain things we have in our culture that we don't hear. I think what's happening now is we have an immune system, i.e. the YouTube and all that, and people are starting to change and be challenged mentally as to what they do. Our culture is being challenged with a lot of things. Social media has helped in that regard. But I think that it also, if you read that book, it really is, it should be comforting. Look at this. This is Atlanta. This was all built by Southern people from the South. You know what I'm saying? So that should tell you what's feasible. And you shouldn't be caught up into this Southern, you should not just buy into the ideology that black people are forever doomed and that we're gonna forever be the bottom of the totem pole. One day we can develop. I think that's what happened with the South. Like, if you look at in the book, he talks about the average IQ of certain people from the South and certain people versus people from the North, and how they were like 10, 15 points lower, 20 points lower than their northern counterparts, which I don't really believe in IQ like that. But I see what he was saying. On average, he's just talking about education in a sense, I guess. And he's just talking about how, but look at the South now and look at a lot of these other northern states that are being ruined or have been ruined, and a lot of companies losing a lot of businesses, a lot of manufacturing is coming to the South. Why? Because opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Your great grandmother was a sharecropper who was barely paid. But one day she saved enough money to move north to Chicago. Exactly. See what I'm saying? We all are, black people, especially people from Chicago. Your ass from Chicago, I swear, I meet people from Chicago, I can't even tell that your ass from Chicago. I be thinking when I meet somebody from Chicago, from what county you from? Your ass is from the South. Detroit is another one. Country is hell. But you know what? Like, that's just that. You know what I'm saying? Some of the most country people, the people I notice that talk, that are the most prim and proper people I've met. When I say prim, I mean proper just as far as how they talk and how they speak, is California. Other than that, even some of them New York people be country as hell. I'm sorry. You could be from New York. You just got that New York swagger about yourself, but your ass country too. Some of the same shit y'all do, we do. We all the same. Black people damn near universal. We may speak a little different, slight differences in the way we talk. But when it's all said and done, our culture is a Southern redneck, white red. We adopted most of our culture from white red culture. And we adopted this through the hundreds of years living as slaves and living adjacent to these people before the Great Migration. What's up, man? Hold on, let me hang this up. I'll call her back. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. We adopted a lot of our culture from white rednecks, man. I think, but guys, we should be encouraged by this, because what that tells us is that black people can change. Black people can evolve. Because I kid you not, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the thing. Like, and I find most of the time people that look down on people from the South are people from up north and from Chicago, LA, New York, other states. But I think that's changing. I think what's changed that is music. I think what's changed that is the internet. People are starting to really communicate on different levels, even though we don't communicate in person anymore. In-person communication suffered because everybody got their face dug up in a phone all day, every day, right? But I do think that we're changing. You know what I'm saying? I think people are starting to realize and have a certain respect for people from the South and certain things. And a lot of people in the South, I think what helped us too was people like Master P. I think he's one of the most influential guys, not just for hip hop, but just for Southern culture altogether. Because when Master P did what he did, people no longer could look at Southerners as stupid and slow. People, you can talk that shit, but nobody can look at Master P and say Master P was stupid. Master P was a businessman. Master P was saying stuff like, I watched the interview with Master P a while ago, and Master P was like, man, yep, HBCUs is another one. But I remember Master P was like on the interview, and he was like, look, man, these companies would charge us all these thousands of dollars, $100,000 for marketing. And what they call marketing is they'll pay one guy to get in the airplane and drive a rental car. He'll start and drive up and down the East Coast and stop at radio stations and give people about 6 or 7 CDs at the same time. So he would call these different artists and he would talk to the different artists and say, hey man, they charge you $100,000. You're like, damn, they charging $1 million out of all us. Hell, I know all these people at these radio stations. Hell, I know them because Master P was an underground artist. I can get on the phone and call these people and drop my own shit. I tell you what, don't worry about it. I handle that marketing. He will handle it. And so what happened, these companies were starting to try to rape him. They had him under contract, they was raping him. And then Master P came in and showed him in writing, like, look, I did this, I paid for this. I paid for my own promotion, I paid for my own marketing, I paid for this, I paid. Next thing you know, he figured out they was ripping folks off. Master P worked the deal. I mean, he was just a genius in the game. Country than a motherfucker, straight up out of New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? In Houston and Oakland. Exactly, they don't expect things from the South. You know what I'm saying? And so that changed everything. Got Outcast and all that happened, and then Face Records. Kind of a lot of Southern music. Music changed the way the Southern image of the South. White people moving their ass to Atlanta right now because they want to be in the South. But I think that our culture, that the culture that we have today, universally all over the country, as being academically lazy, that can be changed. And I think what's going to cause the change, if it went for P Cash Money, it wouldn't be no damn Cash Money. If it wasn't for Master P, it wouldn't be. Dude, I remember all these damn record labels used to be all over Montgomery looking for rap. Like it was a time in the late '90s, early 2000s where everybody in the South could get a contract. It wasn't. I know dudes that was rappers from Montgomery. Y'all probably don't know the group Dirty from Montgomery, but they got a song called "Hit the Flow." That song was a big hit. They was on Rap City. They right from Montgomery. They got a dude named Mr. Blue. A lot of rappers, dudes come right. These guys had contracts offered to them. 50,000, 100,000, 200,000. Right there in Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? Little bit ass Montgomery. That's just one city. What about Atlanta, Birmingham? You know what I'm saying? You got Red Light District out of Birmingham. But Montgomery was like, if a lot of people don't know this, Montgomery is like the center of music for hip hop. It was all about Montgomery. Atlanta is hip hop music capital of the world right now. It used to be New York. Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. The fact that Atlanta could be the hip hop capital speaks volumes. And so what that does is that changes the perception of the South, which in turn is gonna have I think, Pimpin' Gangsta. I knew somebody was gonna. No, Dirty ain't from Mississippi. Dirty from Montgomery, Alabama. David Banner from Mississippi. And Big Crit from Mississippi. Rich Boy, he went to Tuskegee. Rich Boy from Mobile. I was at Tuskegee with him. Seeing that when I moved from Macon, Georgia to South Jersey, they thought I was dumb. New Jersey school was a year behind Georgia. Yeah, man. Look, man, I'm not dogging. Believe me, I'm not dogging. I mean, of course, the creators of hip hop, New York. Come on. I mean, mad respect to New York hip hop. Obviously, the Bronx. Some people say it's from Brooklyn. I'm not getting into that debate, whatever. But I got mad respect for people from New York. We grew up, people in the South. Guys, I was a major Wu-Tang Clan fan. I was, man, bruh. I remember niggas was laughing at me when I was bumping the Wu-Tang Clan back in like 1993. I used to wear Protect Your Neck out. Like, that was my shit. Protect Your Neck? Shit. I used to love that shit, man. Protect Your Neck. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. All that shit. I wore that damn first Into the 36. I wore that bitch out. I wore it out. You know what I'm saying? I was playing that and that damn 8-ball of them JT coming out hard. You know what I'm saying? On the outside looking in. Them three right there. Lay it down. Lick them up shot. Them was my songs, man. You know, you put that shit on, man, the whole damn club gonna stand up and say it verse for verse. You go to Montgomery right now, and certain songs you put on, the whole club gonna know the words. Coming out hard, 8-ball on them JT is that song. And another song they gonna get everybody up on their feet is Get Retarded. If you don't know about Get Retarded, you ain't from the South. Shit. That was the song, but we've been bumping that shit for about 30 years. We still love that shit. That shit is like Frankie Mays and Beverly for us. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Frankie Beverly and Mays. Damn, I can't talk. You know what I'm saying? Like that was our shit, man. You know what I'm saying? In the South. But I do think, like I said, man, go check out that book. It's called Black Rednecks and White Liberals. And it's just is that just a, because my favorite was I like that one. Of course, Tikal was a masterpiece, right? Method Man, First City, that shit was hard, man. People don't know that. Yeah, that's it. Tommy Soul. Method Man was that guy, man. Real talk. In the 90s, built for Cuban Link. I don't know that one. But yeah, but guys telling you, man, like, I would definitely check out that book because it really speaks to, and what you guys got to remember now, the book doesn't say this, but look at where the South is today, right? And then look at where it was back then as you listen to it, as you read it or listen to it. I prefer listening. Obviously, I'm lazy. But if you listen to it, you'll see that our culture is a culture that pretty much, read The Dumbing Down of America. That's it. Basic Economics. That's one of his first earlier works. Tommy Sowell got a bunch of shit, and a lot of his books. What's the one? Visions of the Anointed. That's another one. Jay-Z stole. I ain't gonna even lie to you. Tila was that dude. Tila, I remember that whole Suave House clique was serious. Real talk. Raekwon, I'm a big Raekwon fan, but that damn song, well, I don't know, I forgot. It's the last song on there. It's also, they got a different version. But the last songs on there was, I don't know, but it had a different version of it. The beat was different. Dun, 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 dun. That shit went so hard, boy. Man, bring that fucking meth in here, man. I used to love that shit, boy. Anyway, back to Tommy Soul. Crazy thing about is down south, you can get as close as you want, but don't get too big. In the north, you can get big as you want, but don't get too close. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think you can do whatever the fuck you want to do in the south, really. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with you. I mean, you can do whatever you want. I'm from down here. Maybe, I don't know. I ain't never been up long enough. I did a couple of weeks up north. I ain't really just been the guy that's just been up north like that and really got dug into northern, like, New York and places like that. So I don't know. So I have to take your word for it. But I do know that the South, only thing that stopped you in the South, you don't know nothing about no Mr. Big. You better stop that. Take that shit to trial. You don't know nothing about that. But one of the things about the South, man, like, I think you can come down here right now, man. And the thing about the South, you can fly under the radar like a motherfucker. You come down south, in certain counties, man, where it's all black. Lowndes, like, you go out through Lowndes County, what they call the Black Belt area, which the Black Belt, the way the Black Belt works, you got these guys called carpetbaggers in. They came from up north. And you had what they call scalawags that were down south. This was during the Reconstruction era. And these carpetbaggers, what they would do, they would come down here and just be crooks and try to get over on the fact that people was poor, right? Or poor. And what they would do is, like, for example, a lot of those guys would buy land. They're what created what's known as the Black Belt. Like, a lot of guys don't know that. The Black Belt is like when you go from Selma, like if you go, if I take 85 up out of Atlanta right now, and I go straight down 85 till it ends, it's gonna end right there in Montgomery, it's gonna hit 65, right? So I take 65 south, it hit 65. 85, when it stops, if it keeps going straight, it will run straight into what's known as the Black Belt. Black Belt goes out through Mississippi. It's land that was not taken care of properly. A lot of the land in that area was fucked up because what they did was the way you do crops, you're supposed to do certain types of crops. You're supposed to grow corn one year, and you're supposed to grow cotton, you're supposed to grow tobacco, and you're supposed to go like that. You don't just do, what they did was they just kept doing cotton over and over and over, and it fucked up the land, a lot of the land. Now the land is rich now, but it's because it's been hundreds of years, but what happened is a lot of those people would not maintain that land. And so a lot of that area is underdeveloped economically. A lot of that shit over through there. You go down, that's why I be talking about you can get, exactly, rotate. You go down south, man, this is in those areas in the Black Belt, you can get acres for $1,000. Like, it's shit going Camden out in that area, Union, Uniontown, all them areas out there, them little country ass towns. These are all black towns I'm talking about. All black. You know what I'm saying? And like Selma, I played ball in Selma. I actually got a love in my heart for the city of Selma. because Selma, I don't know. It's just something about Selma. I had a blast in Selma. I did. I played ball there, and Selma was a great place to play ball at. You know what I'm saying? How do you buy land sub? Okay, so what you want to do is a lot of the best ways to get down. You got to take your ass down. Now, could you go on the internet? Yeah. Best way to do it is take a trip down here to the south. I know this guy who buys land. He puts signs up. He don't put his shit on the internet. I know where he live at, white dude. And you ride out there, he'll show you some dirt. Now this shit gonna be, it gonna look just like that. Pine tree gonna be, that's all it gonna, a lot of it gonna look like that. That shit used to be fields full of like shit like that. And they didn't, what happened is they didn't do that with it. And all the pine straws and shit, pine cones got out and the shit just became pine. So it's, you know, because the south is what's called the deciduous forest region, right? And so a lot of that shit, man, you just gonna have to go down there and check it out. You know what I'm saying? That's the best way to do it. To find those cheap ass deals I'm talking about. A lot of that shit you will not get on. If it's on the internet, motherfuckers is trying to get, you know, $5,000, $10,000, you know, $8,000, $7,000. No. You want that cheap shit, you want to kill your ass. Motherfuckers will sell 100. I've seen 100 acres for like 150,000. I kid you not. You know what I'm saying? I've seen that shit. 200,000. Shit, up here, up on I'm on Georgia 400 right now. I saw, what did I see? What was it? It was like about 400 acres, and they wanted like 1 million, something like that, for like $1 million. Which, I mean, that's not a great price. That's still, what is that, roughly 25? I don't know how to do the math, but that's not a bad price per acre. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you just got, like, say you got $20,000, you want to come buy some land, I would do that. I would just bring my ass down here and buy. You can do it. If you go on Highway 80, which runs out of, go look at a map out of Highway 80. That's where the Montgomery Airport is. What you do is you just go out Highway 80 and look. Man, it's all types of little signs you're going to see for land for sale. They're just going to put a for sale sign on it. That, you call that number, and them motherfuckers will sell you that shit. I'm telling you, they'll sell that shit for cheap. All up through Lowndes County, Dallas County. Dallas County is what Selma is. You know what I'm saying? Clark County, those areas, man, that shit they ain't got no major metropolitan areas around. You can buy some shit for the low. And the funny thing about the South, like, you could be 20 minutes out of Birmingham, 30 minutes out of Birmingham, and that shit cheap. I kid you not. Like, we just passed 285. I just passed the perimeter. If I ride this way for 30 minutes, land gonna be cheap as hell. And you guys are like, but man, that's a long way. That ain't really a long way for Atlanta. Like, 30 minutes, I might be past Johns Creek, right? Passing Johns Creek up in certain areas, you can find some cheap land off 400. What's funny is, one of the most expensive areas in the state of Georgia is Alpharetta. And I'm coming up on Alpharetta. Now, that's actually where you guys see me ride to, because I'm in Sandy Springs now. That's where I used to live. And then, or should I say Dunwoody? Dunwoody's right here. Sandy Springs right here. You know, then we coming into Roswell. As soon as I pass Roswell, we're going to go into this Alpharetta. That shit, man, I'm telling you, you get dirt cheap land, you know, but the point I'm trying to make, I ain't even going to go off on a tangent about land. I want to talk about just the fact that if you read that book or listen to that book, guys, it's on YouTube now. 600 acres for 375 in backwoods Georgia. Yep, I've seen that. Do you know what you could do with 600 acres? I ought to do a video. I've been lazy lately. You know the thing about land patents? Somebody told me if you get the land patent, you won't have to pay tax. I don't know about that. I don't know. The taxes ain't gonna be that bad though on the land. It's really not. You talking about maybe $75, $80 a year per. This is the South, man. We don't. Taxes ain't a big issue down here. It's really not. Like Alabama, I seen houses with $120, $90 for taxes for a house. You know what I'm saying? Land, your ass will pay $50. Like, I've seen that shit. Alabama is one of the cheapest places in the and if you don't pay that shit, you got 3 years before you got to worry about motherfucker getting the tax deed. 36 months. Alabama cheap as hell. So you really don't have to pay taxes for 2 years, and then you gonna have a lien, you have to pay interest and shit like that. But still, you know, A lien ain't a big deal when you talking about motherfucker paid $75 for it, you know? Now, you don't want that shit to go to auction because if they bid it up, then, so you try to want to stay away from auction if you can. But guys, there's a lot of money in real estate in the South because right now you can buy properties that nobody will fight you on and hold a deed for 3 years, then come back and do quiet title, and you own that bitch free and clear with no mortgage. You can then go and use that shit as equity in a bridge loan. People still do those. And, you know, you might pay $100 or $500 for some land, pay the taxes every year, $500 for 3 years. That's it. You do quiet title, you pay your lawyer. Let's say you spent $3,000 all in all, total investment. And worth it appraised at $25,000 or $10,000 or $8,000, whatever. So you made some profit off that. That was a good move. You know, that's a good way, I think, to really increase your money, man. Real talk. You know, in a lot of areas in the hood in the South, and like where I'm from in the hood in Montgomery, you can buy land for like dirt cheap, man. I'm talking about shit, man. I done seen tax lien properties for like $100. I've seen that shit. You know what I'm saying? So take the opportunity, guys, to educate yourself. But first, before you do that, like I said, today, it's only about 2.5, 3 hours. Listen to it. It's a audio book from Thomas Sowell that's on YouTube. And it's called Black Rednecks, White Liberals. Just type up Thomas Sowell, Thomas, Sowell, Sowell, and just go check out White Liberals, man. Black Rednecks. Type out Thomas Sowell and Black Rednecks, and you'll see a lot of the things that we have, what we call culture today, or what we think of as black culture, is really white redneck culture, Northern England culture, and Southern, I think Ireland, Southern Ireland, Northern England, like that type of shit. That's who we were actually living adjacent to through the period of slavery. And what happened is we adopted that culture. That's why we do the things we do, the way we operate, the way we act, the way we think. You know, like I said, the whole fighting Irish. So what is our culture? I think our culture, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not one of those guys that I don't think we're African no more. I don't. We can be called African, but I don't think we have African culture no more. Cultures evolve, man. And this is the thing, and this is why I want you guys to go look at Thomas Sowell. There are cultures a lot of times that are better than others in the sense that they conquer. You get conquered in the sense that your ass becomes subjugated. And then what happens is you adopt somebody else's culture. I ain't gonna say better because I guess that's a fucked up thing to say, and black people don't like to hear shit like that. We get emotional about that shit. I don't really give a fuck. I don't get emotional. So I think that America as a country has provided the best quality of living of any country on this planet ever. So I think we in our feelings, and we not being logical, if we don't adhere to certain things about America and learn from it. See, a smart motherfucker that plays basketball will see a nigga out there with a hook shot and see him getting niggas buckets and be like, man, I'm gonna develop me a hook shot. That's intelligence. This is the way culture works. This is the way cultures evolve. Our culture has evolved like that, man. You know what I'm saying? African Americans have adopted American culture for better or for worse. We've adopted it. And I think the worst part is what I'm just talking about. What I'm talking about, which should be hopeful. Because like I said, if white America can turn around their image of the South, and a lot of motherfuckers hate Southerners still to this day, white people in their culture. White people hate, Northern white people still hate, a lot of them don't like Southern white people. But you damn sure can't look at the South as a joke anymore. You can't look at the South as just backwards hillbillies. No, you can't do that shit no more. You can't. If you do that shit, you ain't never been to the South. You speaking in ignorance. I've been up north and met black people that say some dumb shit like that. Man, niggas in the South got a slave mentality. Like, all right, okay. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is listen to YouTube. If you think a nigga got, this is niggas from the South all the time, they talk shit. You like that? Nigga ain't got no slave mentality. He's just like talk different. I'm just like a lot of guys from up north, the guys from California, Chicago. We all the same. We want the same thing in life: money, power, wealth, and influence. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Southern rappers, Southern people, these are people out here trying to get it. They out here trying to obtain powers. But like I said, you cannot look at the South anymore as a whole and think that it's a joke. In that, and because of that, and in light of that, that should give us hope, because that means that within 100 years, because think about it, 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago, they were saying shit like Irish need not apply. The Irish changed their whole imagery of who they're perceived as. They changed it. We need to change our shit, but we've adopted this real nigga mentality bullshit sometimes that really hurts us. I think sometimes we need to kind of get rid of that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? People in the South, like black people, a lot of times we'll bolster bad, dysfunctional behavior as black behavior, distinctively black behavior, when it's really not. That's basically what I'm saying. If you listen to this book, I'm telling you, it's gonna sound like he talking about black folks the whole book, and he talking about white rednecks, white people, and we don't even see them the same number. We don't even see them. Like in our minds, we cannot wrap our minds around the whole idea of white people operating like this. Because, like me, I'm from the South, so I don't see white people most of the time. I don't really deal with them Appalachian white folks. Most white people I knew were very productive. I'm from Montgomery. Montgomery's technically a city. I'm not from some little country ass hick town population 500 with white boys that dip snuff all the damn time. You feel me? I grew up in a city. We have a downtown. It's not as big, but you know, the South is still, you know what I'm saying? Now, can I, in 5-10 minutes, can I be out with some cows and shit and chickens? Hell yeah. It's Alabama. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is they're very productive. White Southerners have shown a high level of productivity. And this is where we as black people fall short. We don't have productivity. Look at that word. Look up the word productivity. Because we're getting into what human capital is. You see, if you increase the human capital of the black community, you will see, and what you can see, some shit we don't think. These are ideas we don't even believe in a lot of times, because we so busy talking about white supremacy stopping us from doing shit, that I'm like, man, what happened if we increase our productivity through increasing our human capital? What could the black community become? You see what I'm saying? We need a fucking immune system. And I think we're starting to develop one on YouTube. But black people somebody need to tell us, we need to be able to identify bullshit in our communities. And we need to be able to show black people, hey, you know, the fact that you don't want to raise your children is some dysfunctional bullshit that you learn from white Southerners culturally. That's that shit where you don't want to raise your kids. That's some cultural bullshit we learn from other people. The fact that you are sexually promiscuous and risking, putting your life online, and a lot of the shit that black people do that we think is just distinctively black culture. And a lot of white people are ignorant about their own shit, really. See, this is also, I would advise you to read that book, because it really dispels this whole IQ bullshit. That book actually helped me destroy the IQ myth, because you got to understand, if IQ is indicative of a lack of productivity, see, this is why the black man is very, take in mind, this is the bullshit they say about us as a people. This is why black people are this. This is why black people are that, because they're low IQ this, they're low IQ that. Well, let's look at the white Southerner who had a distinctively low IQ around the turn of the century, from the 1800s going into the 1900s. What happened in 100 years? Now the South is the shit. So it obviously isn't IQ. Because even to this day, they'll still say that, okay, they still have higher IQs. Yeah, but y'all got higher IQs and y'all shit fucked up, is going bankrupt. Look at California. You know what I'm saying? The shit going bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, your intelligence is not based on, or should I say, test of productivity of your nation, of your people, of your environment, is not hinged upon intelligence that we think comes from IQ. You know what I'm saying? And I think that book, man, I'm telling you, that book is a valuable weapon. I use that shit a lot of times in debates and discussions, with who's operational, Mr. Marquise, whatever. I think that I've used that book in a lot of times in discussions with people when it comes to talking about historically where the South was 100 years ago and where it is today. You know what I'm saying? Where it was 150 years ago and where it is today. You see what I'm saying? The South has really moved a lot, and that really that should give us hope as Black people because that should show where we can move. That shows us where we can move in a year. Yeah, I mean, in a year, in a while. But we have to sort of change certain things, and we have to have that immune system, and we need to be able to sit down and take a real self-actualization moment and look in the mirror and say, okay, and be honest with ourselves and say, we are this, we are that. Are you a part of any federal organization? No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not in any. I'm a GDI. I'm GDI, man. Goddamn individual. I'm not anything. But um, guys, you gotta kind of think about that shit, man. This shit really helped me when it comes to us and understanding our history and our culture and how we think. You know what I'm saying? And where we come from and why we do the things we do. It's some psychological shit. Because if Black people were slaves in an environment where people were of a certain ilk, and not like white Southerners, and we had adopted a certain culture that was of hardworking and being industrious and shit. That's pretty much it, man. America was lazy, didn't do what the fuck. And Alexis de Tocqueville, when you hear people say shit like that, Alexis de Tocqueville, who came to America in the 1700s from England, this is what he wrote about. Like, go listen to it today. I promise you guys, you're gonna be amazed at this shit because it's gonna give you a real vivid look at white America up close. This is shit they don't tell you when they talk about white supremacy and shit like that, how they think they better. Like, no, wait a minute. You guys didn't, when you had farms, you wouldn't rotate your crops. You would have your farm animals running all up through your houses and shit like that. You guys would get into fights. You would fighting Irish. Think that shit is a lot of shit that we don't know about culture and history, man. Which is thank you. Now I continue follow you. Too many YouTubers are a part of demonic entities. No, man, ain't no damn ain't none of that. Ain't nothing. Ain't no Mason. Ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? But guys, I got to go. I'm gonna go to work. Plus somebody want me to come. The churches have built out the bones because they were ignorant. Okay, here we go. They have churches built out of bones because they were ignorant. Who has churches built out of bones? I don't know that. I ain't know that. I ain't never heard of that one. But like I say, man, I'm gonna wait, give him a minute to reply. But guys, you want to make sure that you're able to know beyond the shadow of a doubt what real history is and what really took place in America and what and that book gives you a brief synopsis of what the fuck was going on 150 years ago. Because guys, we would really think in our minds today that we are just like this. Black people just lazy. Black people just no fucking way. We adopted a lot of that shit from them. In Europe, there's a famous one, but it serves as Maury. Not because they're ignorant. What was that book? The book is called Black Rednecks. Just type it. It's on YouTube. Thomas Sowell, Black Rednecks. Go check it out. It's a good book. Just type it. You can listen to it right now. You're going to see the whole book. It's about 3 hours. You'll see it. It's a black and white cover with red letters. Red letters. It's real good, man. It's the thumbnail for this video. The title of the book is actually the thumbnail for this video. So let me take my ass upstairs, man. What you saying? The whites aren't ignorant of these folks. They just don't promote them. Maybe, but I think a lot of them are, guys. I think we kind of give white people too much fucking credit. I really do. I think we give white people, just like you don't know that shit. A lot of these motherfuckers that came up in pretty much the same education system. They don't do the research and know all this shit. They don't. I don't think they know what they mean by fighting Irish or Notre Dame. They don't get that shit. I think we think white people so damn smart and intelligent and they know everything. Nah, the fuck they don't. They're just in a functioning culture that's functioning like it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? That's real. Reminder stating that you will die one day. You know what I'm saying? I think that's it. I don't think they know everything. I think sometimes we'll say, yeah, man, white people know about this, white people know about that. Certain white people do. Just like certain black people do. You know what I'm saying? The bones came from the Black Plague. from living with animals and feces. Oh, okay. Well, even still, you know what I'm saying? Those are the people who came over here and were our slave masters. A lot of those guys. So a lot of these people were very ignorant, they hated, they shunned education. We adopted a lot of this culture. We have, and we see it today. Can I get some likes? Dang, I ain't getting no likes today. Wow. Can I get some likes, guys? You know what I'm saying? So, but hey, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I don't really like going live like this, but it's just convenient. You know what I'm saying? I like making videos where I can kind of give you guys videos. I will actually go through that book, take slivers of that book. I might still do that. Cut, edit, paste, and make me a damn video where you guys can see it and you can hear it. So you don't have to listen to the whole damn 3-hour book. You know what I'm saying? But quit being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to it. It's on YouTube. You ain't got to pay nothing. You ain't got to get no audible.com subscription. None of that. But if you ain't got no audible.com subscription, I don't know what's wrong with you. You need prayer. You really do. Y'all have a good one, man. See y'all.